Welcome to the Thai Alley podcast, where you learn real Thai through real-life conversations in Thailand.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us.
So, when you learn a new language, one of the first things you learn is, how are you? Right? In Thai, that's สบายดีไหม
But, in Thailand, you might hear another question just as often, กินข้าวแล้วยัง which means, have you eaten rice yet?
Exactly. It's a really common and caring way to greet someone. In this episode, you'll learn these essential, everyday greetings that you can use with neighbors or at a local market.
It's perfect for making those first friendly connections. The conversation you're about to hear takes place on a small street in Chiang Mai. Let's listen.
คุณยายครับสบายดีไหมครับ
ยายสบายดีค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
ผมไปตลาดครับ คุณยายอยากได้อาหารไหมครับ
อยากได้ค่ะ ยายอยากได้ข้าว
โอเคครับ อยากได้อะไรอีกไหมครับ
ไม่เอาอะไรค่ะ เอาข้าวค่ะ
ครับผมไปซื้อครับ
This is such a sweet conversation. It feels very real, like a young person respectfully checking in on an elder.
It really is. And the language is simple and direct, which makes it great for beginners to study.
Okay, let's jump into the dialogue. The first line comes from Non, the young man. He says, คุณยายครับสบายดีไหมครับ
And that translates to, Grandma, are you well?
Exactly. Let's break this down. First, he says, คุณยาย alias. Kun is a polite title, kind of like Mr., Mrs., or MS. And yai means maternal grandmother, so your mother's mother.
But in this context, he's not actually talking to his own grandmother, right? It's a respectful way to address any elderly woman.
That's a great point. It's very common in Thai culture. So, คุณยาย is a warm, respectful term for an older woman. Then, he adds the polite particle ครับ because he's a male speaker.
It shows respect right from the start.
Yup. The main part of his sentence is a classic question. สบายดีไหม this is how you ask, how are you? Or, are you well?
Let's look at the words. สบายดี means to be well or fine. It's made of สบาย meaning comfortable, andดี meaning good.
And that little word at the end, ไหม is what makes it a question. You add ไหม to the end of a statement to turn it into a yes or no question. So สบายดี is a statement, I am well, but สบายดีไหม is a question, are you well?
And since Non is a male speaker, he ends the question with the polite particle ครับ Again, making the full question สบายดีไหมครับ
So altogether, it's a very standard polite way to greet an elder and ask how she's doing. Let's see how she responds.
And th23, the grandmother, replies with ยายสบายดีค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ The first part, ยายสบายดีค่ะ means I am well.
Let's look at that first word, ยาปายาเน I thought that meant grandmother.
You're right, it does. It specifically means maternal grandmother, so your mum's mum. But in this case, th23 is using it as a pronoun for herself.
So instead of saying she's calling herself grandmother?
Exactly. It's a very common and affectionate way for an older person to talk to someone younger. It establishes a warm, family-like relationship. So she's literally saying, grandmother is doing well.
That's really sweet. And the next part, สบายดี is what Non just asked her about, right?
That's right. It means do, be well, or มาขึ้นสับบะเข่าเขียว fine, เปิดถู So she uses the same phrase from his question right back in her answer. It's very direct.
Okay, so in the next line, Non explains where he's going. He says, ผมไปตลาดครับ
And what does that mean?
It means, I am going to the market. Let's break down the new words here. First is, โผ mall. This is the polite, standard word for I, or me when a man is speaking.
So our speaker, non-dai, is male, so he uses พอ มา
Exactly. The next word is a really important verb. ไป it means to go.
You'll hear and use that one all the time. It's a core vocabulary word.
For sure. And the final word is ตลาดแท่นมาถึง This means market.
And going to the ตลาด is a classic daily activity in Thailand. It's a great word to know.
Totally. So altogether, ผมไปตลาด I go to the market. So now she knows where he's going. Let's hear what she says next.
Okay, so Non asks her, คุณยายอยากได้อาหารไหมครับ? This means, do you want food? Let's break that down. He starts with คุณยาย Hi, โฉเขียว This is a respectful way to address an older woman, similar to calling her grandmother or grandma and mother. ยาย literally means maternal grandmother.
So even if she's not his actual grandmother, it's a warm and polite way to talk to her.
Exactly. Then he says, อยากได้ ใกล้สิ This is a really useful phrase that means to want something or would like to have something.
And what does he want to know if she wants?
He asks about อาหาร which means food.
Okay, so we have คุณยายอยากได้อาหาร Grandma wants food.
Perfect. And to make it a question, he adds the word ไหม at the end. Putting ไหม at the end of a sentence turns it into a yes or no question.
So it goes from a statement, you want food, to a question, do you want food, just by adding that one little word.
That's right. It's a very common way to ask questions in Thai. So, let's see if she does, in fact, want some food.
And it turns out, she does. Sumsri replies with, อยากได้ค่ะ ย่าอยากได้ข้าว This means, yes, I do. I want rice. So the first part is อยากได้ Mu. We just heard อยาก meaning to want. Wu, adding ได้ which means to get, makes it a bit more solid. It's like saying, I'd like to have it. Then she says, ย่าอยากได้ข้าว ย่า Dummer, Dehir, Likal. The first word is ยายเอทู This means maternal grandmother. But older women also use it as a personal pronoun to refer to themselves. It's a sweet, familiar way of speaking.
It really is. You'll hear it a lot. And the last word, ข้าว is a word you absolutely need to know. It means rice. Rice is so central to the culture that the word ข้าว can also just mean food or meal, tawida. If someone asks if you've eaten, they're literally asking if you've eaten rice.
So when she says ยายอยากได้ข้าว she is literally saying, Grandma wants rice, but it means I want rice or I want some food.
Right? So after the grandmother says she wants some food, Non replies with this next line. He says, okay ครับ อยากได้อะไรอีกไหมครับ
Which means, okay, do you want anything else?
Exactly. Let's break this one down. The first part is easy. Okay is just like the English word okay. Thais use it all the time.
Got it. And we just learned อยากได้ which means to want.
That's right. So the new words here are in the middle. First, we have อะไร อาหารอิชาใส่ให้ This is a super useful word. It means what?
Okay, what? Komba kauki. But in the translation, it says komba kauki alo, watio bigited, hiokio bigit bigiti, shishtie. Shishtieo, anything else, shishtialo. How does that work?
Good question. In this kind of question, อะไร acts more like anything, กระไร It's followed by the word อีก which means more or else, กระไร Together, อะไรอีก means anything else or what else.
Okay. So อยากได้อะไรอีก is want anything else.
Perfect. And to make it a question, none adds the little word might at the end. Putting might at the end of a statement is a very common way to turn it into a yes or no question in Thai.
So, it's like a verbal question mark you can just attach to the end of a sentence.
That's a great way to think of it. So, the full phrase is อยากได้อะไรอีกไหม which means do you want anything else? A very polite and helpful thing to ask.
Okay, so after being asked if she wants anything else, th23 replies. She says, ไม่เอาอะไรค่ะ เอาข้าวค่ะ which means I don't want anything, just rice. Let's look at that first part. ไม่เอาอะไร asks. The key word here is ไม่ which means not or no. It's the most common way to make a sentence negative in Thai.
And it comes right before the verb you want to negate. So the verb here is เอา which means to want or to take.
Exactly. So ไม่เอา literally means not want, and we've just learned อะไร means what or, in this case, anything. So ไม่เอาอะไร means I don't want anything.
This phrase ไม่เอา is super useful. If someone on the street tries to sell you something you're not interested in, you can just give a little head shake and say ไม่เอาค่ะ Seldom is very direct and clear.
Right. Then th23 clarifies what she does want. She says เอาข้าวค่ะ. She uses that same verb เอา meaning to want, and then the new word ข้าว ans. This means rice.
A very important word. Khao is central to Thai food. It's so important, in fact, that the phrase for to eat a meal is กินข้าว which literally means eat rice, even if there's no rice in the meal.
That's a great point. So th23's response is really efficient. She answers the question negatively and then states exactly what she wants.
And Non's reply is just as direct. He says ครับ ผมไปซื้อครับ which means, okay, I will go buy it. So the first word ครับ is used here like okay or yes, e. Then we have ผม which is the word for I or me for a male speaker.
Okay, so ผม is I ก็ใส่เกอข้าวเขียว What about the rest?
The next part is ไปซื้อ or ไป means to go and ซื้อ means to buy or so go buy.
So literally it's just better to go. I go buy jahilas. In the English translation it says I will go buy it jahilas. Where do will and ite come from?
That's a great question. This is a perfect example of how Thai relies on context. Since they were just talking about rice, everyone knows it is the rice. You don't need to say it. The same goes for will. The future plan is obvious from the conversation, so you don't need a special word for it here.
That makes sense. So you can leave a lot out if people already know what you're talking about.
So to recap the story, a helpful young man is checking on his elderly neighbor and offers to buy her some rice from the market. It's a very sweet, everyday interaction.
Let's listen to the whole conversation one more time. As you listen, try repeating the Thai phrases out loud. Shadowing the speakers is a great way to practice your pronunciation.
คุณยายครับสบายดีไหมครับ
ยายสบายดีค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
ผมไปตลาดครับ คุณยายอยากได้อาหารไหมครับ
อยากได้ค่ะ ยายอยากได้ข้าว
โอเคครับ อยากได้อะไรอีกไหมครับ
ไม่เอาอะไรค่ะ เอาข้าวค่ะ
ครับผมไปซื้อครับ
Alright, before we jump into the quiz, let's quickly recap the most useful parts of that dialogue.
Definitely. I think one of the most useful phrases we heard was อยากได้ which means to want something.
Oh yeah, when the grandmother said she wanted cow, which means rice. You could use that for anything you want to buy or order.
Exactly. Super practical for markets and restaurants. You'll use it constantly.
And the other really important phrase was right at the start, สบายดีไหม which means, are you well?
It's the standard, friendly way to ask how someone is doing. And the answer is just as simple, สบายดี which means, I'm well.
Just remember to add ครับ or ค่ะ at the end to be polite, like we heard the speakers do.
Great points. Knowing those phrases can get you through a lot of simple, friendly interactions. Okay, think you have those down? Let's test your memory with a quiz.
Question 1. What's the Thai word for the most common food you'll eat with every meal in Thailand?
That would be khao, which means rice. It's fundamental. You could say อยากได้ข้าว which means I want rice. Alright, my turn. Question 2. If you're at a market and you want to purchase something, what's the verb for that action?
That's ซื้อ meaning to buy. For example, in the dialogue, Non says ผมไปซื้อครับ or I'll go buy it. Okay, question 3. How do you ask someone, are you well? Or say, I'm fine, in Thai?
That's a key phrase. It's สบายดี which means to be well or fine. You can say ยายสบายดีค่ะ like the grandmother did, meaning I am well. Question 4. You're at a street food stall and the vendor asks what you want. What's a simple, common word for to want or to take something?
I know this one. It's a ho. It means to want or to take, or you can just point at something and say, เอาอันนี้ครับ I'll take this one. Question 5. What's another way to say you want something? That's a bit more like saying, I'd like to have.
That would be อยากได้ top. It literally means want to get to. So in the dialogue, the grandmother says, อยากได้ข้าว I want rice. Okay, a trickier one. Question 6. What's the Thai word for your maternal grandmother? And how might she refer to herself when speaking to you?
The word is ยาย ปอวอ It means grandmother, but an elderly woman might also use it for I when talking to someone younger. It's a very familiar and warm way to speak. Last one, question 7. Building on that, how would you politely address an elderly woman who you don't know, similar to saying, ma'am?
You would say คุณยาย. Adding คุณ before a title or name makes it more formal and polite. So คุณยาย is a very respectful way to address an older woman.
Great job everyone, keep practicing these words, and they'll become second nature. So we started this episode talking about how asking, have you eaten yet? Sekikotche gyuao opio taho letsa tungo is just as common as, how are you? Ashipo. It was great to hear that in a real conversation.
It really was. It's such a warm and caring way to check in with someone.
Definitely. So, what's your one main takeaway from today's lesson, Claire?
My takeaway is how that question can lead to a real act of kindness. When Somchai learned that his neighbor hadn't eaten, his first instinct was to help her get food. It shows that it's more than just a greeting. It's about community.
That's a fantastic point. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of the Thai Ali podcast, please consider subscribing and leaving us a quick review. It's a huge help.
And we'd love to hear from you. In the comments, tell us which Thai word from this lesson was most useful, and share a sentence or a situation where you might use it.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Happy practicing, and we'll talk to you soon.